All right, call the St. Cloud Metropolitan Transit Commission Board to order, and on Friday, October 12th at 9 a.m. let the record reflect that everyone is here, with the exception of our mayor from Sauk Rapids, who is absent this morning. So we have a motion on the agenda. First of all, are there any changes?
No changes.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adopt consent agenda items 5 through 8.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Open forum. Do we have anybody here? Open forum. All right, seeing no one, we'll go on to general business. Number 9, consideration of advertising agreement between Metro Bus and Houck Advertising.
Yeah, so we're just requesting that you approve the transit advertising contract with Houck. The agreement was in your agenda packet. It's very similar to our previous contract. It's for 5 years. And then they sell the advertising on our buses, and it still allows us to sell some direct advertising as well.
All right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Is there a discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of procurement policy. Item number 10.
Yeah. We almost made it.
Let the record reflect that the tardy mayor of Sauk Rapids has arrived.
Tour of the facilities today.
That's right, the clock's a little fast, so you're not too. You've arrived at 8:02.
9:02.
9:02, oh yeah, 9:02. 2 minutes. So, consideration of procurement policy.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, we hadn't revised our procurement policies here at Metro Bus since 2012. There were some recent changes at the federal level in regards to what they consider a micro purchase versus a simplified acquisition purchase. The micro purchase was changed to $10,000, and the simplified acquisition was adjusted to $250,000. State of Minnesota has not, or MnDOT has not yet changed or gotten into line with those adjustments. So we decided to adjust our procurement competition guidelines more in line with what the state is doing. So we adjusted our micro purchases to $5,000, and I gotta look at the terms here. Our formal bid purchase to $100,000. So we eliminated the large purchase. We went with a micro purchase, a small purchase, a medium purchase, and then a formal bid purchase. And so those changes are reflected in the new procurement guidelines. And then we also made some small minor changes. And basically it was employee, what do I want to say here? What was my thought? Titles, job titles. Yeah. So there were some job title changes, and so those adjustments were made as well. So basically what we're asking is to approve these revisions to our new procurement policy for 2018.
Is there, this is your update too? Or is that?
Oh,
Okay. It's creating efficiency. That's all right. Well,
that'll be a bit longer.
All right. Any discussion on that? Their motion?
Good motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Policy adopted. Item number 11, consideration of Connex pilot program.
All right, good morning, Commissioners. Metrobus has been looking at making some changes to the Sartell area service. The last time changes were made in that area was 2013, and that is when the 31 and 32 were made permanent split. There's been some issues with low ridership in the area, and so what we are proposing is a pilot change to the routes 31 and 32. Route 32 would be completely replaced with the proposed Connect service, and 31 would be extended to serve the Southeast Sartell Medical Plaza area. The pilot would run from January 2nd to June 30th. The Connect service operating within that area would be a curb-to-curb service with a service area that mirrors our current dial-a-ride service in the area, and that is to provide comparable service and remain ADA compliant. The connections would still be available to both Route 31 at the Walmart shelter and routes 21 and 22 east of the river at the Country Manor shelter. Riders would still use the 251 ride number, but they will be given a menu option for press 1 for connects. The service hours will mirror the service hours of the Route 32, so there won't be any loss of time for our riders there. The fare will be the same as the fixed route. This will be part of our fixed route service, so transfers, reduced fares, and regular fares all would remain the same. We've been working to collect public input. A meeting was held at the community center on October 6th. We presented to the Sartell City Council on October 8th, and we presented to the Sartell Chamber of Commerce on October 9th. We've had a few unsolicited requests for information that have been directed to my department, but not very many. Just a couple questions about how the service would operate. But we will be releasing more information after. If the commission were to decide to approve this, we would be working to create more information opportunities for the residents in that area. So that is our requested action.
Third option after the ride to determine how many stars the driver gets.
That has to wait for
We
the
are
end.
not Uber.
Oh, well. Yeah.
They could call that and do a operator accommodation.
Oh, accommodation. Any discussion on the proposal?
Ryan, you haven't heard anything?
No, obviously present for the council update as well as the chamber update. I was there as well. I think there's some excitement around it. It's Uber-like, or it's changing the traditional wait at the bus stop option. One thing I think there is also some. I would suggest offering clarity, additional clarity, and maybe through a small video or marketing segment. When you say go to your curb, and we literally go to your curb, I think people still think, oh, I've got to go down the street a little ways or meet someone. So there's just been some clarifying questions that I've personally received, but otherwise I think there's general heightened level of excitement for it.
Yeah, sounds great. Got some media on it, and it's good. Yeah.
Move to
Futuristic.
approve.
Maybe we all have this eventually. Well,
There you go.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Program is adopted. Our pilot program is adopted. Item number 12, department updates. Continuation of the procurement department update.
All right, yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I was asked to give a brief update on what's been going on in procurement. Since we just finished our last fiscal year, I was going to touch on some of the highlights from fiscal year 2018. Our bus fleet, we're constantly replacing our bus fleet. New Flyer, we have in the works 3 Excelsior CNG low-floor buses. They'll go into production on October 29th with scheduled delivery to Metro Bus on December 14th. Contract and PO has been issued. Our technical spec approvals are technically complete, although I keep getting more and more every day. The final cost per vehicle came to $512,598.54, and there will be some additional cost with that once we get the buses in with bus graphics and some electronics, things like that. Our MCI, North Star Commuter Coach fleet, we're adding 2 buses there. Line entry production schedule is scheduled for December 12th, and final inspections are scheduled for December 26th, so we should see delivery to Metro Bus sometime around the first of the year. Contract and PO has been issued there. Technical specs are approved and complete on that bus procurement, and the total vehicle cost for that came to $599, $198.46, not including graphics and additional technical equipment. Arbach, which is our dollar ride buses, we transitioned from Champion to Arbach, so we've had Arbach in our fleet before. We're going to transition back to Arbach. We've had some issues with Champion. And so we have 5 Arbach Spirit of Mobility CNG low floors that will be going into production. The spec's been approved, the contract signed, PO's been issued. We don't have a production date as of yet. They're tentatively telling us it'll probably be the early part of January when they'll be able to begin production. Cost per vehicle on those was $186,653. You know, and I look back at, vehicle costs, NCI is pushing $600,000. The New Flyers are over $500,000 now. When I first came to Metro Bus, we were buying Gillig low floors from Gillig in California, and they were $177,000. So it's quite a difference over a 15-year period. You see those costs go the other way. We installed a new bus hoist in the garage. That project is complete. I've been working on verifying compliance with certified payroll, making sure all of the federal compliance has been met. That total project cost came in at $171,465.98, which was well under our budget of $200,000. So that project went very, very well, and it turned out great. Mr. Hunsinger had a tour out there and saw that. So we also signed a new 5-year vending contract with Burnix. We added some new vending items down at the Trans Center. We added some additional equipment. We actually saw our highest overall revenue in the last 10 years this past year. So that was a nice addition down at the Trans Center. Our Trans Center hub has typically been, from a public sales standpoint for Burnix, has typically been one of the highest in the area. So we do a lot of volume of sale there. Burnix has been a great business partner as well. They work with us on advertising, bus wraps, helping fund employee events when we need beverages, things like that. So they've been very good to work with. So we're excited to be in business with them for another 5 years. We also signed a new tire lease contract, 5-year contract with Bridgestone Firestone. We did a competitive bid there. Bridgestone Firestone came in with the lowest projected cost. Our initial savings versus the contract we were in with Bridgestone this first year is 24%, so that's going to be a significant cost savings for Metro Bus. Over the life of the contract, over the 5-year contract, my projected cost savings is about 1%, which is still pretty good for that time frame. And we've already seen fuel prices rise, so I think we've gotten into a pretty good deal with them. Let's see here. We also signed a new refuse contract with Waste Management. That's also a 5-year contract. Projected 5-year savings there is about 21%. That one's kind of difficult to read because there's constant fluctuation in taxes, environmental fees, fuel costs, things like that. So that's kind of a rough estimate. Our basic service rate is locked in for 24 months. That cannot be adjusted, and then we have a no more than 3% increase in years 3 through 5, and those will typically be predicated by operational costs by Waste Management, things like that. So how operational business costs really go down, so we'll probably see some increase there. We also worked on our integrated software project. Did the RFP for that earlier this year. We had our discovery meeting with Avail and FleetNet. That's the vendor we chose. They were here to do some data mining, put together an implementation plan, project manager and team, things like that. So that's in place. I think they anticipate, Steve, by the end of the year or first of the year to have data for us to review.
Yes, that's correct.
Did our annual parts inventory. We do an annual inventory at the end of each fiscal year. Our parts inventory accuracy level was 91% this year. I would prefer it to be closer to in that 95% percentile. It's been 92% the last 2 years, so we've been over 90% for the last 3 years. It's actually pretty good. Our total inventory at the end of this fiscal year was 163,588, which is about a $30,000 increase from the last fiscal year, 2017. But as our bus fleet has aged, we have more parts on the shelf, we see more parts failures, so that's not a surprising figure. But I think 90% or better over the last 3 years is pretty good. I don't know what other transit systems do, but I think that's a pretty good number. Some projects on the horizon for fiscal year 2019. We have $300,000 budgeted through a 100% New Start state grant to do a feasibility study for our operations center here. And what that's going to involve is we are looking for a consultant to come in and take a look at our facility here to see, what's our 10, 20, 30-year viability at this location. Do we need to expand our facility here in some manner, which would require acquisition of land, adjoining land? Do we need to move the facility? Would it be best to possibly build a satellite hub on the west end if we look to expand service in some of those areas? So that's basically what we're looking for the consultant to help us work through. We needed to have an RFP on the street months ago, so I'm at the 11th hour on this. I have a very short window to get that out, but we're looking to get something on the street by the end of this month. So, and hopefully we can get a good response to that and get a good consultant to work with to help us through that process. So, let's see, we have staff vehicles that we need to purchase. We've been down one staff truck since the early part of the year. We've been chewing gum and string to keep some of our other vehicles going. So we're making do, but it's time to get some new staff and fleet vehicles into our service here as well. We have a large, the New Flyer and MCI buses that we purchased were utilized through a large bus contract with Duluth Transit Authority. And they put together this large bus contract back in 2015. It expires at the end of 2019. So there's going to be a meeting held here in St. Cloud at the end of this month, early November, to discuss a renewal of that contract. And Metro Bus wants to be a part of that, and we'll play a role in developing that and helping Duluth in any way we can. So they would like to include some electric buses on the next contract. Duluth has purchased 6 Proterra electric buses that are now on their fleet, and New Flyer would like to include their New Flyer Charge, their new electric bus, is on that contract as well. So it's kind of the direction the industry is heading with that. I don't think you're going to see very many diesel buses in service anymore. We haven't had any requests for autonomous driver buses yet. I would imagine at the end of this 5-year contract, that may be a possibility. So we have 9 additional dial ride buses that we'll be procuring in 2019, and then we'll be doing some additional bus retirements. Actually, the market for retired bus fleet was pretty good. As an example, we sold one of our 1997 MCI coach for $8,100. When you look at a $500,000 purchase price now, that doesn't seem like much, but when you've have a coach that old that's been put through the paces, we're pretty happy getting that price for that. And then we had a 2003 Gillett low floor that we sold for $5,700. Dollar ride coaches haven't brought much. We sent most of those to the recycler, and we stiffed the city of St. Cloud with a couple. With the retirement, pending retirement, we have 14 dollar buses.
Yeah, I didn't hear that $100 one.
Anybody else needing a bus?
Brought that average down.
Yeah. Much to like a split bus.
So we don't know what the market is for dollar buses, to be honest, but I did had Cure Transportation here in St. Cloud reach out to me recently. They do have some interest in purchasing some, or possibly purchasing some of our older cutaway Delray buses when we retire them. So hopefully their interest has changed. So that's really the end of that. So, any questions on any of that?
Questions? All right, no, thank you for the update. So I would, so last meeting, I would say, best wishes and good luck to folks that have elections coming up here. We won't be back to, of course, we'll still have the same board, so. At least for a couple more months. But good luck to all of you that are part of that, so. There a motion to adjourn?
I just have one thing before we adjourn.
Oh, I was, it's not on the list here.
Not on the list, yeah. Just starting next month, I'd like to introduce, well, since Kellen is sitting here, I'd like to introduce you to Kellen now. Kellen will be the new person, Kellen Rasmussen. He's our administrative assistant. He's actually going to be assuming the duties of board minutes, agendas. So the emails that you normally get from Libby Dykema will be coming from Kellen Rasmussen, which I'm saying that right. You got just wanna, don't hit delete when you see email from Kelly. That's basically the board meeting.
Maybe you could put on there from Kelly, DBA Libby.
Formerly known as.
Right. Yeah, we're just in the process of just transitioning job duties, and this role will be a benefit for Kelly as Libby's transitioning more to financial duties, working underneath Paula Master here. So she'll be doing more of the invoicing, bank reconciliations, that kind of stuff. And Kelly's just going to be focusing more on dealing with the board agenda and the minutes, board relations, that kind of stuff. So I just want to introduce you to Kelly Rasmussen. So Kelly, welcome to the party.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job of painting this room and.
And speaking of that, I would like to say
Yeah, great
to
job on this.
Metrobus staff too as well for all the hard work that went into this boardroom renovation. The meetings to come up with colors, the carpet schemes, the dais, just the different decorations. It was just the whole Metrobus team that worked together, marketing input as far as the pictures and the clock.
Can't do much with that. I mean, the subject matter is really tough. But
And
looks good.
IT and maintenance and just all the different hands the Metrobus team played to make this room what it is today. So we still have 2 more pieces that are yet to be determined. We have a wooded, what's the name? Nate, I don't want to say the wrong name. The
Wooded Circle T.
Wooded Circle T.
Well, that's a tough one.
I didn't go on a limb there.
Kind of education do you say?
The mahogany tea. That's what
The woods.
And then we have another table, a conference table that will actually be in the back. Just the same table that we had before, just that we're going to have a nice little granite top to go on top of the table to kind of be uniform with the existing infrastructure here in the room. So just like to say thank you to the Metrobus team for all your hard work and the new Metrobus boardroom for the next 30 years.
Well, we'll see what the study says.
And it does look nice. This is really nice. I made this just a small little suggestion, but you have all of our names up there. I think you should have your names on here for the they're to just have Chief Financial Administrator. It just sounds like it's sounds like it rotates too much that you can't have a name on there.
Out as we go out the door.
It would be nice just to have that on there.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can just put Sartell, St. Cloud, Wade Park, Sauk Rapids.
Well, it'd be cheaper to do 2 than to do 5. So.
Well, I don't think they're very expensive,
Probably pump that.
Yeah, but that's all. I just wanted to make this
Oh, thank you, and thank you for this. Looks really nice. So great job on this room. So nice screen there too. That'll be easier to.
Yeah. Instead of having the projector here in
Yep.
the corner.
Yeah, that's really good. Updated it, so it looks good.
Yeah.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at